things away is not proving anything. How about proving things by yourself? Cherry picking small claims on someone who's obviously lost is not cool. That's not how it works. It would be fair to come to a real debate on big channels with people who know what they're talking about. And how about you tell us where Mercury and Venus are? You can't, because they are projecting Mercury on the sun. We don't know what Mercury is. We don't know what the sun is. Why is it that there's no evidence of a constantly shape and size changing spinning ball anywhere? When people's BS, they need to keep changing the story to make it fit. Such as the idea of water bending and our atmosphere being held in place by gravity, yet we live in a freaking vacuum and it doesn't get sucked out. But helium balloons can float. But flat earthers have absolutely no reason to lie, which is why you get the exact identical answer for the same question, regardless of what you ask. Unless, of course, you cherry pick a lost dude, which is what you do. The fact that they have to keep changing the shape and size of your so-called spinning ball every so many years pretty much says it all. If you cannot confirm or validate your claims, then it is not science. You rely on secondhand information, aka appealing to authority. Real science is repeatable or verifiable by anyone or any time. If you cannot validate, then it's not science. So do you have anything scientific to support any of your globe claims? Your gigantic presuppositions don't need proof. And that's what you're saying, right? Electromagnetism is what moves the tides, not gravity. Gravity is not a force. It never has been, it never will be. It's just weight. Convert gravity to newtons and neutrons, to pounds or kilograms. Same thing. And if you studied LIGO and the theory of gravity, you would understand this, that it's impossible for LIGO to detect gravitational waves. If gravity bends space and time, what are you measuring? There should be a difference in space, warp time. It doesn't make sense, of course. You have to do your own homework. Nothing goes higher than 73 miles, okay, people? The Van Allen is fraud. It's fake. Invisible. What does invisible mean? It means it's not real. It's not there. Science doesn't show all the truth. We could argue that God exists by the laws of thermodynamics, the complexity of what we study, and that it cannot be by evolution. There has to be some kind of intelligence design behind it, okay? God cannot be tested. God can't be experimented with, because God is outside of the physical bounds of the universe, okay? Science is observing and testing things within the universe, the framework of the universe. God is outside of that. Truth is not limited to scientific arguments here. Logic and reasoning is of God. All Christians are to be logical and reasonable. Our God is not stupid. He's way ahead of you scientists. You know what? Science doesn't prove everything. It can't. Science cannot prove logical and mathematical truths, and that's a fact. Science cannot prove metaphysical truths. Science can't prove ethical values or aesthetic values. Science can't even prove itself at times. Your experiments and hypotheses can be wrong, okay? Albert Einstein and his theory concerning light, scientists now realize it was wrong. You are all hypocrites. And I know that all real science and all the greatest minds of all time agree that the earth is fixed. To be honest, I could care less about your superior addicted thinking, and I hold you responsible, and people like you responsible for holding back humankind. I don't appreciate how you have the power to mislead, manipulate, deceive thousands of people, but it all makes sense, because there's no greater evidence or power to back up any other book than the Word of God, the Bible. So in a situation like this, what do? You weigh out the evidences and you go with the greater. And guess what? We win. And so what we have is a deliberate deception and a huge agenda, and we are in a battle for the truth. Okay, scientism is an attack on God. Science teaches that we're an accident in a spinning world created by dust and kind of came together and formed a world of its own, spinning at 1,000 miles per hour in space with no purpose. But in the Bible, we are extremely special and unique. We have function. We have a meaning to our lives. We have a purpose. We can do experiments. We can look at results. We can analyze data. We don't need them. Here's a question for you globeheads. What was before that matter or energy that you guys claim? What was before the Big Bang? Whatever matter, whatever energy, it can't always be there. It has to break apart. All the universe will break apart. So how can something that breaks apart last forever? And what started this universe? And I know how you guys work. When somebody says otherwise of what you say, it'll get buried away or explained using mathematics, metaphysical theories to keep your position as so-called geniuses that you think you are. They provide clever explanations and mathematical formulas to hide the truth from all of us. Repetition is the key to mind control. Mind control is the greatest deception. The things that they put out is an illusion. People don't realize that they are being brainwashed. And you need to know how a brain works. On a subconscious level, your brain is being programmed from what they put out. We've been dumbed down by the public educational system. We've been indoctrinated by the media. And we've been socially engineered by movies, music, and TV programming. And Hollywood plays a huge part in that. We've been tricked into thinking that we have a legitimate government when we don't. Everybody accepts everything without questioning. They created the illusion of choices that all lead to the same place. It's an illusion put out to make you think that we live in a free world and a free society when we don't. It's basically getting everybody prepared for the acceptance of this one world government. The age of technology is why people are not buying the moon landing hoax, because they are now investigating on their own, when before it couldn't be done. There are no honest people arguing and debating in the favor of the spinning ball. This is why debates are pointless. We are dealing with egomaniacs, trolls, and intellectual cowards. We need to spread the truth to those who are still not aware that we live on a level earth and not a spinning ball. They have blinded the society with science, Freemason science. People don't know or want to accept that they have been lied to. They have no idea that the creators of the blue marble earth are Walt Disney, who was a Mason, and Wernher von Braun, a Nazi member from NASA. They are deceased, but their tradition, which is mocking the masses, is carried on. And most of you push your children just to achieve in this evil system that is training your kids to be part of that system. Yet, they have all these agendas set up to wipe us out. This is obviously a war on God. The Bible is accurate, and it clearly states that we live in a closed system under a firmament. The sun, the moon, and the stars are within that firmament that separates the waters above from the waters below. Why would they lie about the shape of the earth? It's to hide God, our real creator, and to discredit the Bible. We are not from apes. Why are apes still apes? If they can convince you that you're an animal, then they can treat you like one. People, you have to be extremely careful when it comes to Satan's devices and who we are dealing with when it comes to the government. The majority don't realize how dangerous and scary things are. These Satanist people are actively pushing for this new world order, where everyone's brain is connected via tech. I am not a constitution. I'm the beneficiary, the living soul. I am an alive person. I do not consent. It is against my rights as a human being, given to me by my Creator. My rights are not constitutional, and they are recognized by the Constitution, but the Constitution doesn't give me anything. I do not consent. You have to understand that the earth is flat, because millimeter waves cannot travel very far on ground, which is why they put up these towers every couple hundred feet. The absorption spectrum of 5G is water molecules and oxygen molecules. You'll then realize that transmitting these signals over any considerable distance is a virtual impossibility. Therefore, it's logically simple to conclude that transmission from space is a total impossibility. You can't get millimeter waves to travel 65,000 miles through the clouds, the fog, the MOG, so the 5G is not going to work from space. Millimeter waves can be used in a vacuum or in an environment with no oxygen or atmospheric gases to knock it down. But from space, science is a fraud. And with that being said, These people are pushing it on you to make you believe that something from space is about to hit, when in reality, it's going to be coming from underground. They want you focused, looking up at the sky, when all this time it's going to be in your backyard. 5G can't work from space because it can hardly work on ground. So that's the reason why there's all these antennas every couple hundred feet. The globe Earth is a psyop. It's nonsense. We don't evolve from rocks and minerals and amino acids and whatnot. It's all lies of evolution. NASA has been invented to lock down the truth. The Earth belongs to God. God created us so wonderfully, and they want to paralyze you because they don't want you to fight back. With 5G, they are going to be broadcasting in millimeter wave spectrum range. Millimeter waves at 60 gigahertz will literally take your breath away. They are going to be using a frequency in a home internet and wireless communications. 60 gigahertz is the absorption spectrum of oxygen molecules. And scientists say they don't know what it does, and they lie. 5G will affect oxygen molecules. Trees produce oxygen molecules. They block 5G, so that's why they cut down all these trees like it's nothing. The less oxygen, the worse for us. This is what they want. 5G cannot penetrate through trees and walls and clothing. So a receiver and a transmitter are the ones that will do the job. The effects of changing the sound frequency is what they are doing to us. Education is a form of mind control that prepares the slave for a prison. The society we live in is a prison system. The schools have a big play in that. Schools are nothing more than a means to an end for the controllers. 99% of what they teach are lies, both science and history. We are being indoctrinated, brainwashed, manipulated, deceived since birth. We are being told what to think, not how to think. You have to stop supporting the people that are ripping you off and lying to your children. Do you know what intelligence is? Intelligence means how much you're allowing your brain to be molested by perverted freaks, how much lies and disinformation and nonsense that you retain. And that's the definition of academic intelligence. They want you to remember all the lies and then call you smart. When you spread your time looking at what's real, the lies won't sink in. But if you spend your time looking at screens and listening to the lies, you won't be able to tell the difference from what's real and what's fake. With your own eyes, you can clearly see out of the plane, although the window is curved. The land looks flat, the ocean looks flat, the bottom of the clouds look flat, streets are flat. But as soon as you turn on the TV, they tell you something totally different. You need to wake up. It's a demonic realm, and it's destroying you with mind control. Wisdom is the ability to see the truth and what is real.